Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mondays with Mel. My name is Melissa Chung-Mowat, and I am the NDP candidate running in the federal riding of Winnipeg North. Thank you so much for joining us today for this Monday chat. I'm really happy to be joined by Diljeet Brar, MLA for Burrows. Today, we're going to have a conversation, and we're so happy that you're able to join us. Hi, Diljeet. How are you?
I'm good, Mel. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I feel like this is really good timing. We were able to bring a couple of our teams together yesterday for the Burrows community cleanup, which I thought was, well, it turned out to be a beautiful day, and it was great to connect and meet some folks, some new people from your office and some of your family. And on our walk, we were able to have quite a bit of conversation. And so I thought today we'd start off with, we talked about cross-cultural collaboration yesterday, and we had quite a diverse group of people out. And so I thought we could start there and talk a bit about cross-cultural collaboration and how that's really important in community building here in Winnipeg.
Yeah, it is important, as we discussed yesterday, that wherever we go to some political office, we go to some government office, we go to some educational institutions, and we see diversity there, right? And diversity, like this nature is diverse. And I'm of the opinion that we should make this society as diverse as possible, as inclusive as possible. So wherever you go, you should see people from different ethnicities, from different religions and faiths and different skin colors, different gender, different age groups, right? So different sexual orientation and so on. So diversity is actually our strength, and we should embrace each other and respect each other and know each other better through these platforms.
I think this is what I find so special about Winnipeg North itself as a riding. We're a very diverse riding in Winnipeg North, and that's something that's definitely really made me feel at home being amongst such diversity here. And, it's May 2nd today, or sorry, May 3rd. So last month was Sikh Heritage Month. And for me, it being in an online format this year, I was following some of your work in highlighting community members, Sikh community members, and also sharing, learnings about the Sikh faith with your caucus, and you were engaging people in different ways to learn and bring people into learning about the Sikh faith. And so I found, Sikh Heritage Month to be such a great opportunity for my own learning and to engage. And so, just from your perspective, what's been the community response, especially this year, largely being online? Have things kind of expanded over the years? Have you in celebrating this month? And I think it was only recently that it was made, brought forward as a bill in the ledge. And so, yeah, some of your thoughts on Sikh Heritage Month as that opportunity to engage people.
First of all, Melissa, on behalf of the Sikh community, or to be broader, I would say Punjabi community that includes so many religions, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, and so on. So we're all Punjabi. So when you talk about Sikh Heritage Month, it's not excluding other people. So I would use the word Punjab to be more more inclusive, right? And when in 2019, WABCNU brought forward this Bill 228, Sikh Heritage Month Act, and it was unanimously passed and became the law that April would be celebrated in Manitoba as Sikh Heritage Month. That was a good news for the whole community, whole Punjabi community, because they felt respected. They felt included, they felt embraced and loved. So I think we should officially recognize various ethnic communities, and this is a wonderful example of such an act. And May is also Asian Heritage Month. So we would be talking about Asian heritage and the contribution of Asian people into Manitoba political system, Manitoba social system, and Manitoba's economy. So I think when we bring forward such legislations, these are very positive steps to make this place a beautiful place to live.
Yeah, and yeah, it's great kind of crossover today that we're heading into Asian Heritage Month. And, it's so often that the contributions of, the various ethnic groups that make up the beautiful diversity of our province and our country and of our riding. Yeah, it just gives that opportunity to highlight those contributions, to reflect on the history, and to engage people in culture. And so I really appreciated yesterday on the community cleanup. You offered a bit of a dance lesson. That was so
Yes.
fun. And I just think it's so wonderful to have opportunities to learn and engage in other people's cultures and to take
You
pride in your
remember?
own culture, to be able to share that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, and I remember yesterday we were talking about dance. Dance, actually, I always look at dance, sports, language lessons, community gatherings as tools to connect. Dance is not just an exercise, right? Dance is not just a skill to be learned and performed. That's a reason to connect people. Same way we eat every day. And when we invite somebody, uh, on a dinner or supper, that doesn't mean that they're hungry and they need food. Food is a reason to connect. On our dining table, during that event, we talk a lot about our food, our preferences, our culture, our heritage. So I think we should use such platforms to connect with each other, to bridge the gap between various ethnicities and learn about each other. So it's all about connecting, it's all about networking, it's all about knowing others better, so that we witness a lot of intolerance, hatred, racism in this society, and we should use these sports and cultural activities to connect people and narrow that gap, and be a tolerant society, a society that welcomes everybody, a society that appreciates each other's culture and food and so on. So I think these are great platforms, and we'll continue to use these platforms to connect with people.
Yeah. Um, you know, for myself, I'm mixed heritage, being half Chinese on my dad's side and Métis on my mom's side, and something that we touched on yesterday too. I think both being able to embrace and have pride in your own culture, but also finding those opportunities, like you're saying, to connect with other cultures, because it's really in those moments of sharing food, of sharing dance, of sharing different, cultural practices together, that it builds that opportunity for understanding across diversity, right? And I think you're
Yeah.
so right that I've firmly believed over, my own identity exploration, my own work in the community, that the best way to build diverse, or to build relationships, to build understanding, to remove misunderstandings between groups, is really that opportunity to share and connect, and whether that's sharing stories or sharing food, and having understandings too about where people come from, and how people, whether that's through migration, have come here, or are there first peoples here in the country. Having a strong understanding of those histories, I think, is really how we build these relationships.
Yeah, it is. And the perfect example is our public school system. When I see my son, my little boy, he is 8 years old and he goes to Amber Trails Community School. He's in grade 3. And when I see him, maybe, for example, doing powwow or doing Punjabi folk dance, or learning some kind of maybe hip hop or Zumba dance, or some sports that bring all ethnicity together. They play basketball together. So the kids from various communities, so they share their languages, They talk about their food, and they talk about their culture, they talk about their parents, right? And they get to know their names and sounds and stuff. And I think these kids, they start identifying themselves in a unique way. And in spite of that difference and that different look and that diversity, they're still the same and they're friends, right? So they learn new words from other languages. And I would see my son talking to his classmates from other ethnic groups on weekends. He would call somebody. So I think this is a very good platform. Our public school system is a very good platform where you introduce yourself to other cultures, and you feel proud of your culture. And these little boys and girls, they share their culture with their teacher, and they feel proud about who they are, and they are proud about their identity, their dress, their faith, and so on. So we should be proud of our heritage, and we should teach our kids to not hide your identity, rather be assertive about it, and tell that this is me. These are my roots, and I'm proud of my language. I'm proud of my folk dances. I'm proud of my parents and my leaders in the history who fought for us, who stood for the social justice and so on, right? So it's an informal education that flows through our kids and next generation as well.
Yeah. And yeah, and again, that comes back to like having those opportunities to learn about the history, the contributions, and really take pride in that as individuals, and to be able to share that. And so yeah, I love to hear that your son has, and you know, many kids have these opportunities. So this is great. The other thing that I think is that's really has been really important to me has been around, you know, supporting you know, different groups in their struggles and their efforts, you know, building solidarity. We're seeing, you know, over this past year, a lot of opportunities to work in solidarity with BIPOC communities. And, you know, last year at the Ledge, having one of the biggest protests at the Ledge for Black Lives Matter, and for you know, for movements like this, and having that opportunity, yeah, to work in solidarity. You know, I think we've been hearing a lot over the past six months or so about the farmers' protests in India, right now, about what's happening around the devastation around COVID in India right now. And I know that you've been working with Khalsa Aid. As that's what I believe you have been, correct, Diljeet? Yeah. I'm just
Yeah, I'm in touch
curious.
with them.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what communities can do to support, you know, to offer support in these areas, as far as, you know, working and being in solidarity.
Well, first of all, our thoughts and prayers with the families who are going through that hard time there, and our condolences for the families who lost their loved ones during this battle with the pandemic. And at the same time, I want to appreciate those Winnipeggers and other people from various parts of the world who are gathering some donations, who are sending some medical supplies. Even I was reading a news, CDV news, about our local people. And I see that there's a GoFundMe campaign to help people in India right now. And Anil Seda, I think he's the person who started it. You can donate if you like. You can Google that GoFundMe campaign for people in India right now. And a local guy, he is his name is Achal Khanna. I appreciate Achal Khanna because I know he is working to raise funds for this cause. And I also appreciate Khalsa Aid. Khalsa Aid is also donating equipment, medical equipment, to people in need and to the hospitals there. So there are so many kind people around who stand with anyone who is suffering at a particular point of time and in a particular geographical area on this earth. Those are brave people, and we should learn from them and we should support them. You can also search Khalsa Aid, and you can maybe read about them, and you can donate some money as per capacity to Khalsa Aid, because they're always doing these kind things to support people in pain. So I really appreciate these organizations and these kind people. And if you want to approach my office and you want me to connect you to these organizations and these people, I can do that for you.
Awesome. Yeah, and perhaps I can share the links to the GoFundMe and to the organization and your information as well, so that people know where to go if, to lend help. So, well, yeah, and there's lots of help that's needed. So, yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I like the name of your program, Mondays with Mel. And it's a great service. When we talk about how we can help, I think the first point to start is to talk about any issue. And you are creating this platform for people to speak, for people to share your emotions and their thoughts and whatever they want to share. So communication is the key. We should start talking about some issues. We should start communicating our feelings with other people. That's a great service. You're doing great, and you're investing your time for the society. I really appreciate that, Mel.
Thanks so much, Diljeet, and I'm really appreciative for these opportunities to connect and the opportunities we've had to connect as well. So I'm really looking forward to continuing this work and to working with you and so many others in our community. I'll have one more question just to kind of tie up our conversation today. And we're ending each of our conversations on this note. And so just from your perspective, and we've touched on this a bit already, but why is your community important to you, and how do we work together to build on its strengths?
My community is important to me always due to various reasons. And I must say that when I say my community, that's the community where I live. That's the community in Manitoba, this north part of Winnipeg, where I live. That's the community that includes all ethnic groups, all skin colors, all faiths, all age groups, all sexual orientation. So people from various backgrounds. So that's my community, and that includes my community, which would be Punjabi community that I belong to, and I'm proud of my identity. And once again, I think we should create maximum number of platforms where we can work together, get together, and when we can even eat together and meet when it's safe to do so after we won this battle with the pandemic. There's a lot to be done, and I'm really proud of my people here, our diversity, and particularly my own identity, my own roots, where I was born. I'm proud of that place, my moral values, my folk ways, and my culture, my festivals, my language. I'm proud of everything. And I would keep saying that, and I would send this message to everybody who's listening today to be proud of who you are, and give back to society as much as you can, using the skills you have been gifted with.
And, just even from this opportunity to connect, you're right, because even today I've learned how to be more inclusive. So by using Punjabis as a more inclusive term. So thank you for that teaching today.
Yeah, and another thing is, remember when yesterday we were talking and I told you that when we meet our elders, our uncles and aunts and grandparents, we bow and we touch their knees or their feet to pay respect, and in return we get blessings. Then they put their hand on our head. That's a symbol of blessing your kids or blessing your juniors, right? Your sons and daughters and your grandkids, right? So that's that's a folk way. These are the moral values that these are the ways of life that we learn. But gradually you keep changing. And yesterday we're talking about now these kids say, hi mom, hi dad. They not anymore, they touch their feet, but that doesn't mean that they don't respect them. They do. But I mean, we should preserve our values and our teachings from our own cultures. That's so pleasant to know. And I'm sure that you tried that with one of the senior community members yesterday, and she blessed you. I was so happy to see that.
Honestly, it felt like such an honor to receive that gift and that lesson and to be able to practice that. And it felt that just so welcoming into the culture. So thank you again, Diljeet, for that. I truly appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thanks, Diljeet. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another Mondays with Mel. These are opportunities to connect with constituents, with community leaders, with thought leaders, and just with people in the community about how to build on the strengths of Winnipeg North, how to build relationships across our diverse communities. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. If you'd like to stay connected or you're interested in doing a Mondays with Mel with me, please just leave me a message. And I look forward to doing this and seeing you again next Monday. Thanks again, Diljeet.
Thank you.
Hey, bye, everyone.